Thank you, Maro.
It's unusual for a man of God to be accused of falsehood or telling lies. Your opening paragraph in the statement you issued, you use the word lied on your colleague Felix Kwakye Ofosu. I believe it is pound for pound. But he said he didn't use lie, but he said he told falsehood, which is a synonym for lies.
Omaru,
yes, sir.
He lied. He lied because when he put out a video yesterday and claimed that I had been invited and I'm running away from the invitation of the security agencies, just 20 minutes ago, I got off on a radio station with him where he submitted that NIB is now typing the letter that they are coming to use to invite me to the speaker. They are now typing it. They are now drafting that letter. So as of yesterday, which letter had they brought to invite me per his opening statement? So clearly, a government that is bent on spreading falsehood in the attempt to defend such a crucial matter of high interest, public interest, a security matter. There are just three simple questions we ask, which we are demanding answers. And instead of them to simply put out a statement to give us the status of the almost $500 million cocaine bust, where has been the status, who is behind it, which people have been arraigned before court, and where has been the cocaine. Two, the bust, the high-profile gold bust and money laundering bust that national security themselves accompanied themselves with cameras and media to undertake a supplement 2 months on. What are the gold? What are the money? How much is it? And who are even behind it? Is anyone facing prosecution? Everybody is tight-lipped, and we cannot ask about this. We are asking around the same time where there's gold here, there's cocaine here, there's money laundering here. Around that same time, is it a coincidence that two suspected flights came in among thousands of flights? When I put out there, they said, he's lying. I went further to provide the particular, registration numbers. Then some media houses did their checks and then came out to say, yeah, we have found that they indeed landed and departed the exact time minority had put out. Quickly, Kwakye Ofosu turns around the night and says, oh, yeah, they entered. But what did they come to do? They came in, and according to Kwakye Ofosu, he wants Ghanaians to believe that an air med flight, which is an air ambulance, came in with no patient and came in for 5 days, only to come for fuel, only to break down, only to be fixed, only for their gear to be faulty, for their engine to leak oil, for them to bring another flight. So all that while that the maintenance was going on, did he accompany any video of what was in? Contrary to the fake video of the cargo plane they brought, it didn't show a patient in the air med flight. It didn't show a dead body in the air med flight. And where did they keep that dead body for the 5 days? Or the patient, which hospital? Did they keep that patient for 5 days? And they said they were going somewhere. And because of this, they turned around and went back to Gran Canaria. He lied again when he said that the cargo was coming from Rwanda. Check the radar, and you will verify that the itinerary of that flight from the 12th of March, it entered here, straight from Gran Canaria, not Rwanda, not Angola, and then straight back to Gran Canaria on the same 25th. Could it be a coincidence that these two flights will come into the country, and that is when they will fly to the same Gran Canaria? And they say that, yes, they had fought. And when they had a fault and they fixed, they didn't also have EU permits. So they had to come to Ghana to obtain EU permits. And they all left around the same day that there was a massive doomsday in Kotoka International Airport like we've never had before. And we are asking questions. Now, what exactly did they carry? Just tell us.
Okay.
If they didn't carry anything, let the security agencies issue a statement, do the investigation. Now he's threatening, not interested in any investigation. And that's what President Mahama, and I'll quote him, I'll send you the video. He said it on Accusations of Falsehood, that when President Mahama posted that they should call for collaboration, he didn't mean it. But they're only interested in setting an example, making me an example. But they're not interested in investigation. These are his words. The arrogance of this government, when Ghanaians are concerned that in less than 3 months, there is $500 million cocaine within the system. We are asking questions. They want to gag. They want to intimidate. They want to shut everybody down, to weaken the stolen peace credentials and crime credentials that guy. When was the last time you heard $500 million worth of cocaine on our street? When was the last time we heard such?
Reverend, I just want to get a few things. So, is it your submission that the two flights exchanged the drugs when they came to Accra, or they both brought the drugs and deposited it in Accra and went back? What's your submission?
That is for the security agencies.
What do you know? What do you know?
And submit. We have stated our suspicion. We've been consistent with it right from our press conference. That the intel we have indicates that the air flight suspiciously brought in cargo, which is suspected to be cocaine and cash. That was what we put out. Suspected to be cocaine and cash.
So my question
let them investigate.
My question is
not.
My question is.
They should tell us how far they've gone with the investigation.
So my question is Ghana the final destination of the cash and the drugs, or Ghana was a transit point?
For that, we cannot ascertain how much of it retained here, how much of it they took out.
Do you even know whether there was any discharge here?
Yes.
So something was discharged.
That there were things that they brought from the video, from the flights, and things that they put back. Now, when you ask all these things, they say, "What's your proof? What's your evidence?" Now, see, in this heightened cocaine and money laundering business, when the National Security acted on intel and went to bust the $350 million cocaine and went to bust the $150 million cocaine, which they purport to be belonging to NDC parliamentary candidate in Sekendi for 2020, the informant, did he go into the containers to take pictures of the cocaine and took even samples of the cocaine and brought it to them as evidence before they found that intel as credible to go to the scene? So please, these questions, when we are asking legitimate questions, and all the you should go and bring the evidence of the cocaine. You should go and bring the evidence of the
Reverend, is that not
evidence of this?
But Reverend, is that not a reasonable?
Is that how they want to get away?
But is that not a reasonable request to make to you, that you make a claim that drugs were brought in, cash was brought in? If you make the claim, you prove it. And let me just land here. Even if you were not invited, like you claim you weren't, you are duty bound as a citizen to help, deal with crime in this country.
Very much so.
So even for you, hold on a second, for you to get presidential attention, that's a big deal. That the President of the Republic reacts to what you said.
There's a reason why.
Let me land. That it means that you are being taken seriously. Now, even if you're not invited, that statement that the President made should amount to a public invitation to you. You should have walked into the offices of any of the security agencies and say, "I am here. This is how much information I have. Do with it as you may." Have you taken steps to do any such thing? Go voluntarily to deliver this information, even if you are not asked?
I agree with you perfectly. And in that same spirit, the moment the President issued that Facebook post and that X post, that very moment, I wrote for a joint security briefing involving all the agencies President Mahama had taxed. And I further even indicated that meeting would afford the opportunity, and you have a copy of that. If you even have the indulgence to even read it, you will see in my letter dated 2nd April for calling for NACOC, NIB, BNI.
So that's a public. Okay, so no, that's for briefing of the people's representative.
No, please. In that letter, I stated that it will be the opportunity for that collaboration President Mahama talked about. President Mahama collaborate. So what is the collaboration?
Yeah, but President Mahama's collaborate was specific to you, Reverend Ntim Fordjour, that you should collaborate with the...
So that collaboration...
Have you taken any step to do the collaboration on your own?
I have written to them. And NDC gagged it, wrote a letter to block it. If they were interested in collaboration, would they have? If they were not interested, they would have recused themselves.
Well. Okay.
The agency heads would have come. They would meet me and we'll have that interaction. Reverend, but you blocked that. And today... the presidential spokesperson has said it, that they are not interested in any collaboration or any investigation, and that what the president even put out as the directive for them to investigate and collaborate with me, they just said it, they didn't mean it. They only are interested in making an
Okay.
example of me. These
Reverend,
are the words of Felix Kwakye Ofosu.
Reverend, if
So
you
we are
have,
ready for that example. But
Reverend,
if he's so sure that they have destroyed every shred of evidence, he will be surprised.
Reverend, if you do have time, I would be grateful, and if you could indulge me and just stay on the line. I want to speak to your colleague on the other line and return to you. Thank you. That's Reverend John Ntim Fordjour. Let me speak to Honorable Felix Kwakye Ofosu, MP Abra Sebo Kwamankese, Minister of State in charge of communication, government communications. That's Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Your colleague on the other line has used the same word that you use against him. You said he peddled falsehood. He says you have told a lie, first of all, when you said that he was invited. He says there's no evidence to show that he was invited. Can you share that with us?
Umaru, the discussion here is about claims that Ntim Fordjour made. Don't digress into other matters. I'll respond to that question. But the most important thing that must be dealt with first, before anything else, are the claims that he made. You see, with the greatest respect to my friend, and he is my friend, I have very good relations with him. I share a border with him. When you leave AAK, you enter Ascent South. And he is an MP. The last thing an MP should be doing is peddling such childish lies. You see, they are not just lies, they are childish. And I'm sorry that I have to be this blunt. How do you get up and say that 2 aircraft that have come into this country were carrying drugs and money, and yet you don't provide a shred of evidence? And quite frankly, Umaru, I'm very surprised that you are even indulging him. The moment he failed to provide any evidence, you should have dismissed him. And let him know that he is wasting your time. We are not in the business of encouraging frivolity on the airways. Ordinary members of society are not allowed to do that. How much more a member of parliament? He is abusing the parliamentary platform to engage in childish propaganda, lies that do not make any sense. Umaru, yesterday, if you watch my video, it was a 7-minute video. I put out pictures and videos of the aircraft in question. There are 2 aircraft here. One of them arrived here on 20th March, 2025. The other one arrived earlier, 12 March 2025. The cargo aircraft is a cargo aircraft that has been coming to Ghana since 2017. It is an aircraft that operates between Luanda in Angola and a country in the European Union. European Union rules don't allow that aircraft to enter there without a certain certification given them after inspection and assessment. They cannot do that in Angola because they don't have the facilities and certification. So there's a Swiss Port Cargo Center here at Kotoka International Airport that has that certification. That is why they come here. So they come here for that certification. They carry oil drills and engine oil in jerry cans. Yesterday, when I put out my video, I showed it to the Ghanaian people. Everybody saw it. You saw engineers around the aircraft. You saw aviation security, national security officials, and others inspecting the goods in the aircraft, and it was open. Everybody saw it. What evidence has he in Ntim Fordjour provided? So why should we waste our time listening to such lies that don't make any sense? In respect of the air medical ambulance, this is an ambulance owned by a company called AirMed International that operates from Alabama in the United States of America. They came here on the 20th of March. When they were landing, in fact, the reason why they came here is that they were refueling and disembarking their crew to rest, because I have their flight manifest. If you see their flight manifest, you see that they've flown around the world. So the crew came here to rest and then refuel. When they were landing, and Umaru, there are videos and pictures of this. Their landing gear and tire developed a fault. So they had to stay for about 3 days. They flew in, engineers, and brought in new tires to change it before they flew out on 25th March 2025. In respect of the Kabok 2, they flew in engineers, which you saw in the video that I put out, and they fixed it and the aircraft left. How does an MP get up and say that because of this, they brought in drugs and money, and therefore he should be investigated, when he has not provided you with anything? Again, I heard you ask him about the invitation to go to the security agencies for some collaboration. Umaru, you and I know that giving the MPPs unscrupulous pension for propaganda if they had any shred of evidence regarding this incident, Ntim Fordjour would have put it out even before anybody invited him anywhere. And for the records, he was invited through his minority leader, Afenyo Markin. You can ask Afenyo Markin this. The NIB called him and requested Ntim Fordjour's presence. Afenyo Markin undertook to deliver him. Later, he called and said that Ntim Fordjour spoke on behalf of the Defense and Intelligence Committee. Not that anybody had even appointed him spokesperson. And that he didn't speak in an illegal capacity, so he was not going to show up. If he tells you he's not been invited, it is not true. But in any event, let me tell you, and the people listening to me, that the NIB has, subsequent to this, written to the speaker and asked the speaker to release Ntim Fordjour for investigation. So he will definitely go. If he doesn't go, they will arrest him. And then when he goes there, he should go and tell them the stories that he is saying. How do you, and Umar, I'm so disappointed that the Ghanaian media is even continuing to encourage him. After he has shown that he was lying, does not have any evidence, and cannot put any before you. We should not be encouraging this sort of frivolity. It's a waste of our time.
Now, so his point is that the request he has made is for some collaboration to be made, where the collaboration means some briefing to the committee.
The collaboration, which committee? The Committee on Defense and Interior has not made any statement to the effect that anybody has bought drugs here or laundered money. Ntim Fordjour, an MPP MP, was engaging in MPP propaganda. It is Ntim Fordjour who went to say that. It was not a press conference. Indeed, Ntim Fordjour is not the one who would have addressed the press if the committee was doing so. It should have been the chairman of the committee. So on what authority did he even go and do the press conference? And why is he purporting that he is calling for collaboration? He simply sought to do plain propaganda. Propaganda that does not make any sense. Propaganda that does not have any shred of credibility. That is what he sought to do.
He appears to be relying on previous events. He says in the past, where the national security said there was a raid where 12 containers filled with gold was confiscated somewhere on the Amasaman Road. There's no evidence since then to prove anything whatsoever. That could be one of the things he's relying on.
Don't tolerate this senseless propaganda. Ntim Fordjour went to make a specific claim about 2 aircrafts. Has he provided them? If the national security authorities do a raid and go and seize gold and money, how does that relate to these claims that he's making about the aircraft? Where is the nexus between the 2 events? And in any event, was it not national security itself that announced that they had made such a seizure? And indeed, CTF, your news organization, was part of the media that went to cover the raid. Were you not? Did you not see it for yourself? So what is the nexus between these 2 events? The fact that money and gold have been seized by national security. What has it got to do with 2 aircraft doing legitimate business in Ghana? So today, if you go to the airport and you see 2 aircraft that you don't know, we should say that they are laundering money and bringing in drugs. What kind of logic is this?
A short while ago,
anybody sustain this logic?
A short while ago, you said that if the processes that are being used, he does not comply, he may have to be arrested. He says you have been quoted elsewhere saying that you want to use him to set an example.
How can an MP stoop so low as to bring the image of Parliament? I'm also a member of Parliament. I can assure you that the good people of Asebu Kamakets who sent me to Parliament will be thoroughly disappointed if I go and do this sort of thing. If I go and tell such a childish lie that has no basis. Look, the laws of Ghana make it clear that if you knowingly publish false information, you have committed a crime. Ntim Fordjour, I can tell you, has committed a crime. And therefore, if today the police or any other security agency arrest him, they will be well within their rights to do so. Publication of false information is a crime. When they were in power, they used to arrest journalists on air because they have said things that they say are untrue. Why? Ntim Fordjour, is he more human than those who were arrested in the past? And indeed, if he had any evidence, wouldn't he have submitted it by now? The reason why he cannot do that is that he doesn't have any evidence. Eventually, when they get hold of him and they question him, he cannot provide a shred. Umaru, quote this day. Today is 4th April. I'm telling you that Ntim Fordjour, he will never in a century, 1,000 years, be able to give you any evidence of what he is saying. And indeed, in all the questions you've thrown to him, he has never been able to tell you that he has any evidence. You've used a
phrase like when they get him. Should I presume that to mean he's a wanted person now?
Now, because he's an MP, they have written to the speaker to release him. As I speak to you, Parliament is even not in session. So strictly speaking, he cannot say he's doing parliamentary business. But they've written to the speaker, and I'm sure as the speaker has done in the case of A+ and others, he will do the same. And eventually, the law enforcement agencies will get hold of him because it is their duty to enforce the law. Anybody who is suspected to have committed a crime in Ghana is subject to the laws of Ghana, which is enforced through law enforcement agencies.
Very well.
So eventually, he will come into contact with them. When he goes there, let him go and tell these stories, these tall tales that he is telling them.
Thank you so much.
And therefore, you see, first of all, we as public officials must show respect to the people that we govern. It is this sort of conduct that led to the humiliating loss that he suffered in elections. How can a member of parliament get up and make such wild claims? In any event, has he thought of the damage he is doing to the image of the companies who are doing legitimate business in this matter? The people in Alabama who own this aircraft, who operate a legitimate ambulance service. How do you come and tell such a lie about them? The cargo aircraft is a cargo plane that has been operating for years. How do you come and tell such a lie? And I heard you say that, ask him whether the so-called drugs he's talking about ended up in Ghana or they were translated. I don't know the answer he gave you.
He said he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure.
So,
anyway.
So he was not sure. On what basis is he wasting our time? If you are not sure, so why do you come and tell us?
Let's leave it here.
He is not sure.
Thank you.
So when the security judges question you, this is what he's going to tell. The whole of Ghana must stop everything we are doing and listen to somebody who says he is not sure. So please, he should apologize to the people of Ghana for wasting their time and dishonoring the position of the member of parliament for our state. I'm sure his conscience will be extremely disappointed in this kind of behavior. Look, parliamentary oversight is a very serious business. Okay? There are many in his party who before him have carried out parliamentary oversight in a way that was honorable. Even if you disagree with them, you cannot force the substance of the claims that they are making. But as for this one, there's no substance to it. Nothing. You just say that there's money laundering and drugs because there are two planes who have stayed on the tarmac for some time. So all the aircraft are to grab today who have stayed there for more than a day, they are carrying drugs and they are engaged in money laundering. That is the logic that he's espousing.
Okay, thank you for speaking to us. That's Felix Kwakye Ofosu. He's Minister for Government Communications, Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, and MP for Abra Sebu Kwamankese. Honorable Reverend Ntim Fordjour, I think the direct question, based on what your colleague has said, is I'm glad you are patient. So the direct question would be, you have made a claim A that 2 aircraft have come to our airspace carrying drugs and money. I think the simple question would be Nasika no wahe or na drugs no wahe. If you cannot prove that and you have no video to show, then he says you should simply apologize and that the stories you are telling are tall tales.
Umaru, just listen to the arrogance, the pomposity of a government official 3 months in power, suddenly threatening members of parliament, ranking member of defense and interior, for saying something very critical to our national security and threatening that they will make example of him. They are not interested in investigation. They are not even interested in going into the matter. All they are interested is arresting. Who is afraid of arrest? In any case, when he lied that they had invited me, why is he not saying they are not typing the letter? He said that some MPs had been invited.
He said an invitation was tendered to you through your leader.
No, it's a lie. It is a lie.
Honorable Apenyomaki was not called by national security.
It is a lie because MPs are not invited to NIB through their leaders. They are written to the MPs he just referred to in his letter. They didn't invite them through their majority leaders, their leaders. Were some of them not minority MPs? Were they invited through minority leader? They were invited through a letter. So if he comes to lie to you and turn around to say they are now going to write a letter, you trust such a voice. He's talking about, you see, if you gauge their posture, running away from the issues are raised. 3 issues are raised. Running away from them and putting sensationalism around it, putting arrogance. You can see clearly they are hiding something. You want us to believe that the ambulance that came and you have no video of the content, contrary to the so-called fake video you took of the cargo. Where was the video of the patient inside the air ambulance? He came and left, and you want us to believe you. You are talking about...
But you also haven't provided any video, not even pictures, at least.
Please. He is talking about an MP who is a disgrace to his constituency. Please, we have public record of videos that indicate which MP's conduct to make their people proud or shameful. We have public videos to that effect. He shouldn't go into who is disgracing himself or who is disgracing his people. It shouldn't be coming from him. We don't want to go into certain areas. But he should speak to the issues. If all of a sudden cocaine is flying left, right, center, 500 million cocaine has been busted, gold has been raided, cash, money laundering all over the place, and MPs are asking questions, ranking member on defense and interior are asking questions, and they want to jail everybody. They can jail me 100 years. I will still come back, and I will prove to them, if he's so confident that they have destroyed every shred of evidence, if he's so confident, he will be surprised.
When are you going to when are you going to surprise us?
Every shred.
When are you going to surprise us with the evidence?
If they think that they have destroyed every shred of evidence, they will be surprised. Ask them. This was directed at security agencies. Why has the presidency taken it so emotional and personal? And Kwakye Ofosu, emotionally talking about this thing and veering away from the fact. You want people to believe this cock and bull story.
Reverend.
You want people to believe this story that even excuse my language, will not understand the languages he used, the Childish, this and all that, the arrogance of a government in power who has brought back something we never had before into this country that is demeaning the integrity of our security.
Honorable Reverend
we are talking about it, raising questions.
Honorable
Where
Reverend,
is the money?
Honorable
Where
Reverend,
is the cocaine?
Honorable Reverend Ntim Fordjour.
What did the flight bring?
Honorable Reverend Ntim Fordjour.
You are running away from answering.
Honorable Reverend Ntim Fordjour. I think these questions.
Whatever they want to do, we are ready for them. But they should stop their life.
Honorable Ntim Fordjour. I think the where is the money, where is the cocaine, where. These are questions. Questions you should be answering. You are the one. You are making the claim. You should prove, oh.
If they wanted evidence, why did they reject my invitation? Why did they reject?
Is that where you were going to give the evidence?
No, please. When I wrote, I wrote on 2nd April.
I know. Were you planning to give the evidence to them?
So if they block that, how else do they want to obtain?
Honorable, yesterday he did a video and he shared what he has to back his defense. And I'm
telling you, it's fake.
No problem. Okay, no problem. When are you bringing your video, which is original?
Which evidence has he brought? Did you see any video of the air ambulance? Did you see any?
Honorable Ntim Fordjour, do you have any picture or video evidence of the claim you made that drugs and money was brought into the country through these 2 flights? Yes or no?
Kwakye, if he thinks he has destroyed every evidence, he will be shocked.
Do you have any evidence?
The fact and the evidence splashes on his face.
When is the evidence going to splash on his face?
Talking about it.
When would the evidence splash on his face?
Connected, whatever they are covering,
Ofosu,
the truth will unravel. And let me remind you,
Reverend.
Exactly January. No, please let me remind you.
No, don't remind me. Just let's go.
The same incident happened,
Reverend.
And to date, nobody has talked about it. $80 million worth of goods flew to Turkey. It took Iranian newspaper, media agency to unravel it. CNN, Al Jazeera, they all pegged it. They questioned Ghanaian authority. No, everybody sealed it up till now. The gold remains confiscated.
Okay.
Go onto your records.
Reverend.
If we are talking about these things and they want to use arrogance or power to gag it, some of us will not relent.
When will you give us the evidence, sir?
Oh, let them come. We are waiting for them.
No, they are waiting for you to bring the evidence.
I have thrown invitation at them, and they have thrown the invitation away. So we are waiting for them.
I hear. Thank you for speaking to us.
And they have just admitted that they are not interested in investigation.
Thank you.
They're interested in making an example.
That's Honorable Reverend John Ntim Fordjour. He's Member of Parliament for Asin South. He's ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. Earlier you heard Felix Kwakye Ofosu